We back.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by
We back.
yourself.
We back.
I tell you, instead
We
of
back.
feeling alone in a group, it's better to have
We
real
back.
solitude all by yourself.
We back. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Just testing the audio. Alright. It's late. It's late. Really not expecting nobody to be here because this was like an impromptu broadcast, and just wanted to chop it up with the fam for a minute before I went to bed. I'm not gonna be here long, but I did want to have a conversation with y'all. So I got the steel photo. I don't have my picture showing, but I kind of wanted to try it this way. Just on the audio tip, but I'm here. But on today's show, impromptu. Shout out to the 5 people that's in here. I did not think anybody was gonna be here like that. I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting it. But shout out to everybody who's here right now. Today's show, today's main topic, I wanted to talk about why successful men are leaving. And not only that, I really wanted to speak about the unfair, sometimes, obligation of a successful person, men in particular. Hold on, y'all. My fault, y'all. But for those of y'all who may not be familiar with me, my name is CJ, aka the High Value Nurse. I am
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone.
transitioning into his RN.
But you can live pretty well
Start
by
that in less
yourself.
than 30 days. And most of the time, this channel is dedicated to nursing. But today,
It's better to have real solitude.
a little something different. It's going to be a little something different. So bear with me. And rock out with me. So there's been a lot of conversation going on within these spaces, right? There's been a lot of conversations going on within these spaces, and some of them are saying like a lot of the same things, like successful men are leaving, they get their passports, they starting to deal with it not from a dating aspect, because that's what a lot of this is about. And I hear so many things from different people. And being a nurse too, you get to run around and you get to see so many different people, especially being like a travel nurse and being like a agency nurse. You get to hear the perspectives of a lot of different people. Oh, it sounds loud. Hold on, let me turn it down.
You distanced yourself.
Let me turn it down. Let me make sure I'm good. Hold on. Is it still loud? Hold on. Let me do it that way. Let me do it that way. Is it still loud? Let me see. Let me check it. Let me check it on the other end. Okay, you said it's better. Okay. Bet. All right, cool. You say it's way better. Bet. So anyway, sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. But anyway, that made me, when I talk to these other people, and when I talk to these other brothers that are nurses, and other brothers that, are successful that may not be nurses. I ask them, and it comes up in general conversation, they dating status and everything like that. And I'm with an American woman, American black woman, and most of the male nurses that I know are single. And I'm talking about nurses because those are who I interact with. Um, how do you deal with the black tax regarding family members? Corey, can you break that down for me a little bit? But I'm talking about nurses because those are primarily who I interact with, especially the males. When it comes to males, and I've had conversations with doctors and even lawyers. Like I've taken care of some lawyers, um, very successful, powerful lawyers. And when you start to talk and you have these conversations, a lot of it starts to sound the same. But when it particularly comes to black men, like I was just on a panel tonight, right? And they were talking about how can we help the community? Because a lot of black women are feeling unprotected. There's a narrative going around that black women don't feel protected by black men. And my answer to that was, when we were having this conversation, was that, well, the reason you may not feel protected, is because a lot of brothers were told that they don't, by black women, not all, but a lot of brothers were told that we don't want your protection. And that is how a lot of these brothers feel. And then the young lady, and very nice young lady I was talking to, she was talking from a single mother aspect as well. And she was saying that, well, why does the community have to suffer? So from an example, that a man who is well to do, single, childless, is it his obligation to come back and take care of a community, or take care of individuals, or maybe even family, or deal with women who have children by different men? Is it his responsibility to come back and be the cleanup guy? Because the argument was that, why are these successful men leaving? And why are these men refusing to deal with single mothers? That was the topic. And it really got me to thinking, and it really inspired this broadcast, because I told the lady straight up, I said, well, it's not that brothers so much don't want to deal with it, because I know brothers that deal with women who have children. They deserve, if she is a good woman, they deserve just as much protection, just as much love. But the thing is, men who are successful, men who work hard, men who grind, they have to be very calculated in the risk that they take. I'm gonna read your comment 1 second, Corey. They have to be calculated within the risk that they take. Risk versus reward. Now, of course, every situation is not going to be like, oh, well, it's perfect, because there's no guarantees in life. The only thing you're guaranteed is taxes and death. Some of y'all even avoid paying taxes. So, only thing that's really guaranteed is death. But with that being said, I get so tired of the conversations to where they say, well, you have to do this because you're this. I get tired of those conversations. I get sick of them, because it is easy to say what somebody is supposed to do as their continue continuing to be successful. Like, for instance, LeBron James, right? Everybody and their mama want LeBron James to do this, do that, do this, do that. And even on a smaller scale, look at people like Tariq Nasheed. Now, for people who don't know who Tariq Nasheed is, he's an author, he's a filmmaker, director. The brother raised $1 million to build a museum for foundational Black Americans, celebrating the history of foundational Black Americans, right? And with all that, with this man being on his purpose, this man being on his mission, well, why aren't you building a hospital? Or how come you're not building a bank? Or how come you're not doing this? Or how come you're not doing that? My point is, no matter what you're doing as a successful person, and the public can see you as a successful person, especially a successful Black man, it almost seems like it's not enough. It's not enough. And I think a lot of brothers are like, you know what? Just to hell with it. Because not only am I going to accumulate my resources, I'm going to continue to grind. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to get better. I'm going to just take my resources and leave. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm not. But I'm also not saying that's the wrong thing to do either. I'm not saying that. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to do what you feel is best for you. Point blank, period. You have to do what you feel is best for you. Let me read some of these comments. Okay, so Corey Perry said, how do you deal with the black tax regarding family? I asked him, what did he mean by that? Shout out to Jeremy. He said, yo, brother, what's going on, Jeremy? He says, black tax means as soon as a person of color becomes successful, family then asks for money. It's best to hide your success rather than let it be known. I'm about to get to that. Hasbullah, I hope I'm saying your name right. Shout out to you. So just wanted to say thanks for the motivation, CJ. I graduate in 3 weeks from LPN, and your videos have motivated me not to give up. Listen, bro, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy for you. Please hit me up. Let me know how your process was. Maybe we can get you on the show. Congratulations to you. I'm glad I could be of service to you. Very proud of you. But I want to address what Corey was talking about because it's somewhat, I mean, it really actually does go into what I was saying. It does go into what I was saying because Corey asked, and I'm going to put his comment back up here. He said, black tax means as soon as a person of color becomes successful, family then asks for money. Is it best to hide your success rather than letting it be known? And listen, I'm never a fan of hiding your success. I don't think, because you work for it, I don't think you should have to hide anything, especially if you've gotten to the point where you work for every single thing that you have. There's no point in hiding. But I do understand how taxing it could be because a lot of people feel like, well, you from here, you started from here. We came up together. We grew up together. I was there with you while you was in diapers. You owe me. You owe me. And I'm like, where do they do that at? Because you were not sitting there with me when I was putting in those hours of work. And ladies, this can even go to you too. But I'm talking to the fellas too. And shout out to Coretta Live in the building. I appreciate you being here, sister. She says successful men should go where they are happy and feel appreciated. I appreciate you saying that. But they say, well, you should do this. I need this. because you took your time and your efforts. You decided to be better. So as a matter of fact, I expect you to do this simply because we've existed in the same room together. But I really think people just think success happens by luck. And that's not the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, you need some blessings from God. And shout out to Jesus Christ, who is my Lord and Savior. Absolutely, you need some blessings from God. But even the Bible says faith without works is dead. This is why I get so confused. And this is why I don't get frustrated, but I get baffled. Because in a time where gas was almost $6 a gallon over in the Midwest, in a time where food and simple resources have shot up to over 33%, in a time to where the average cost of an apartment is $1,400, people still feel like you owe them something. And my question is, why are you entitled to that when you didn't put in the work? Now, I do understand that there are certain situations to where a person may be handicapped. They may have a physical ailment that maybe prevents them from working. They may have a mental disability that could prevent them from working. But with all the resources in this country of ours, excuse me, there is help out there. But when you see a brother that is doing well, who's not shy about doing well, who's willing to give you the game, but not willing to give you a handout, he's arrogant. He's cocky. He's a sellout. He dates white women. You feel me? Like those are the type of names, like that's what I hear. Just because a person was good enough, or just because a person took the time enough to invest in themselves, you are now obligated to give me something. And if you don't, I don't like you anymore. You're now a sellout. You're not down. Well, let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. Look where, and I'm not saying that this is the case for every situation, but look where being down and being real has gotten a lot of people so far. Look at Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was killed in his own neighborhood. His own neighborhood, where he was trying to give opportunities to people, to different people in his own neighborhood. And he was killed in his own neighborhood in front of his own store. Because a person didn't like him. A person lacked his work ethic. And they were upset. Because simply put, they were not as successful as them. I'm here to tell you now, especially to the brothers, it is dangerous to be around people that have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'm going to tell you one more time. It is dangerous to be around people with everything to gain, but nothing to lose. You are literally playing with your life. And the sad part is you cannot save everybody, and you should not. try to save everybody. I am sick of this narrative that we need to do this, we need to build that, we need to come and grab everybody, even though they don't want to do nothing, even though they don't want to do better, even though they don't want to combine. I'm tired of convincing niggas what they need to do. I'm tired of that whole conversation. I need to convince them to do this. We need to convince them and to show them. No, that'll get you killed. No, I'm not trying to convince the next person that they need to do right for themselves so they can live a better life. What? On what planet does that even make the most logical sense? That's like me trying to give somebody the blueprint of a plan or a written plan that is guaranteed to make their life better, and that's gonna make them $1 million. But nah, I'm straight. I don't feel like doing that. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna take my resources and leave. But here's the thing. I'm very open to somebody who is willing to take the game. I am willing to take somebody who's younger than me, who is willing to learn, whether it be male or female, gay, straight, black, white, whoever. But because I am a black man, I have a soft spot in my heart for young black men. But I am willing to take on anybody who is willing to learn the game and give them what I got. Because whether you believe it or not, I do want to see people do better. I am worried about the future. Very worried, and especially about the sisters. When I go from nursing home to nursing home and I see a lot of sisters that are upset, that are angry, that are tired, their bodies are broken down, that concerns me. And whether people believe it or not, I don't like seeing that. Sisters got to work to the bone. And I'm going to keep bringing this example up. When I was out in Waterford and I seen a 60-year-old CNA on a cane trying to slang bodies and change people, I am very concerned about the sisters, about these women. Concerned. But the thing is, I'm not going to save you, but I am concerned. And a lot of men like myself are not going to save you. A lot of men like myself aren't even going to have this conversation. A lot of men are cool with sitting back and watching the thing burn down. That's why a lot of them are leaving. And I'm not telling them that it's right or wrong, but I am concerned. I don't want, like, when COVID hit, I've seen a lot of females that were very scared in the grocery stores, crying, not knowing what to do, wishing that they had somebody by their sides to take on that burden, the burden of a man. I saw a lot of that, especially when I was working in these nursing homes, and a lot of the women didn't want to be there. They were scared. They had to be there though. They had to provide for themselves. They had to provide for their families. They had to provide for their children. But then to turn around and ask, well, where is my man? Where are all the successful men at? Why are they leaving? Because a lot of them don't feel appreciated. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. A lot of them don't feel appreciated, and I'm a millennial, but Gen Z, the dudes, the competitive, successful dudes of Gen Z, they're a different breed because they really don't care. They really don't care. They're not trying to save it. Nobody. They try to get their paper, be the best version of themselves, and get on. Me as a millennial dude, I care because I don't want to see people do bad. But at the same time, we have a lot of old simp dudes too that'll try to tell the men that they should not work hard and work hard to achieve things. That's another thing too. Um, and that's crazy in itself. I was on a panel a while back and we were having this conversation about working hard and spending time with your wife, your woman, and everything like that. And the conversation like like it kind of went like, well, if you don't spend enough time with your chick and you always working, you're gonna lose her and everything like that. Well, let me tell you something. You spending all this time up under this woman. Ain't no bills getting paid. She's stressed out because she got to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Y'all barely making it. Everybody's struggling. The bills got to be paid. So what? Is that love and that affection and that time spent? Is that going to pay any bills, any paper? Y'all better stop listening to these old dudes who truly can't stand the people that they live with, that they shack up with. I'm trying to tell you. These cats trying to make you miserable like them. You shouldn't be working as hard. You're gonna lose your wife. Well, guess what? You could not work hard and still lose her too. So which one you gonna choose? Because I don't care what nobody say. Don't no woman want to be in no poverty. Don't no woman willingly want to be in no poverty. I know. I talk to them every single day. I know. All that independent and all that stuff. That's cool online. But in real life, when you borrowing from payday loans and all that kind of stuff, when real life hit, ain't nothing cool about it. So for somebody, especially other men, to tell other younger men to, oh, you don't need to work that hard. You don't need to slow down. You gonna miss the birthday parties and the gathering, man. F that. Cats can't even survive out here. There's so many homeless people on the streets begging. And they got all the time in the world to go whatever function and all that kind of stuff. But don't nobody want them there because they on the streets. I guarantee you it's probably somebody that could give them somewhere that they don't want them there because they on the streets. I'm so tired of this feminization of real men. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And the crazy part is after a while, they'll try to make you think you crazy. You out of your mind. That's the wild part. Like for real. And like I be really trying to, like sometimes I be having, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I talk to myself sometimes and I be like, I be trying to figure things out because y'all do know the 10% is the 10% for a reason, right? Say what you will about Jeff Bezos. Do you think Jeff Bezos could have got to where he was today, where he is today, if he didn't want to put in the work? Seriously. If he wanted to slow down, if he didn't have an obsession with being successful, and then we got all these men up here talking about, well, I don't know. I'm sad. I'm depressed. Man, look, a lot of you cats don't even know what depression is. A lot of cats have made I'm depressed some cool stuff to say because it's popular and it's normal to say when y'all have no idea what the clinical definition of being depressed is. A chemical imbalance. A lot of you dudes is just lazy and wanted things handed to you. Don't want to work, and then the world will try to make you think you are nuts. You are crazy because you want better. You want better for yourself. You might want to drive a brand new car. You don't want to live from check to check. You want to live in a nice neighborhood when your kids can go outside and go play and ain't got to worry about being shot at. Oh, but that's doing too much. You a sellout. You bougie. And it's so crazy because with Tariq Nasheed as another example, this one dude online was talking mess about him and said, well, you don't know the struggle right now because you don't live in the hood. How can you talk about saving people and all that kind of stuff, but you don't live in the hood? So wait a minute. So I can't help people and my help ain't good enough because I don't live in the hood? Because I've worked hard. I've worked hard, but I can't relate because I live in the hood. And this is what I'm saying. People take poverty with a badge of honor, bro. A badge of honor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm just like, I'm at the point now, I'm just like, bruh, whatever. And I'm going to tell you something too, like real talk. I think a lot of us are scared of success because, and I think I said this before, because we scared to do it by ourselves. Like before I got on YouTube and started doing like podcasts, I did not want to get on this mic and talk by myself because I just didn't think I could do it. But after a while, you get tired of waiting on other people. Because at the end of the day, all you got is you. And if you don't have a group of people that y'all are not on the same page, like in order to make a group work, you have to be on the same page. Y'all have to be in sync for that group to be successful. Unfortunately, I've never been in a situation long enough to see any type of group success all the way to fruition. And it's no fault of theirs, no fault of mine. It's just people got their own thing to do, and that's fine. But you got to learn how to depend on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to learn how to depend on yourself. You have to learn how to grind by yourself. And when you do grind and rise above and do everything you're supposed to do, it still won't be good enough for certain people. It won't. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why when you focused on a goal, like for all y'all that's about to go to nursing school and all y'all that's about to take y'all NCLEX and continue with y'all career, keep your head down. Because I'm telling you, a lot of the times, y'all going to start making money, new money. You're going to be ready to go out of town, go on trips, see the world. But guess what? If you're not willing to fund most of it with your peoples, then you're going to find yourself going a lot of places by yourself. And maybe that's what Corey was talking about, the black tax. I know so many nurses will be funding trips for everybody and they grandma. They pay for their girls, they pay for their friends, they pay for their man, they pay for everybody. Everybody. And that's the burden of success. I'm not saying it's wrong to treat your peoples. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it just people start to think that you're supposed to do that after a while. And I'm not with all that. Not with all that. It gets old very quickly. And then, but see, that's the beauty about uh the universe and God, because I feel like God will put people in your life that are supposed to be there. And eventually you will start attracting those people that relate to you. And that's the bright side of this whole situation. So why are successful men leaving? Well, they're leaving to be amongst like-minded people like them. And when I say leaving, I don't necessarily mean leaving the country, but they are just leaving situations that don't benefit them. They are no longer saying that you will not hold me to these obligations because I decided to make something of myself. Now, if I choose to help, or if I choose to be some assistance, then that's one thing, but I will not do it because you feel I need to. Just simply won't happen. Will not happen. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have for this evening. I just wanted to come on with a video real quick. I had this on my head. Wanted to talk about it. Nothing else is really going on. I've been seeing that whole Brittany Griner situation in the news, and I think that's kind of crazy. And I was telling my girl that I think 9 years is very excessive for her, for what they're charging her with. But at the same time, I also said that, well, Russia is a whole op right now. And to be real, they are lucky that they didn't do worse, because that whole situation could have been very left very quickly. Now, I do understand that this whole thing is a form of political warfare. I get it. But people don't, it could have went worse, way worse. So I didn't want to speak too much on that, but I just kind of want to get my thoughts on it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like button, that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you tuning in with me. And I will holler at y'all in a minute.